This goes out to the parents of my school and any other parent too that is willing to listen. This is my thoughts, and just to choose my words correctly. In my experience as a martial arts instructor and someone who's had a school for over 30 years, I have come to the conclusion after having read quite a bit of the university studies that have been out there for the last 75 years on kids, child development, and modern, and child upbringing, and what are some of the effects that influence, what are some of the things that influences a child's upbringing, the sports they do, how long in the sports, what kind of sports. They've done all this. They've dissected everything, right? So in my experience, what I've seen, and I know some parents are not gonna like this, and that's fine. And some parents will agree with me that if people say that you are a product of your society, and that's true. And others have tried to, tear down that quote. And in all honesty, when you consider all things involved, you are a product of your society. You're first a product of your home, then you become a product of your society. Okay? This is how some kids, go into. Now, I'm not, I don't want to use the 0.01% examples. Well, how come this kid came from a great home and then, turned out like this after? You don't know what happens in the home to call it a great home. Like I said, having my school for over 35 years and having still dealing with kids, for the past 35 years, I can see which kids come out of a great home and which kids come out of a home that is practically neglectful. Weak parents bring up weaker kids. And I don't mean it as an insult, and I'm not judging anybody, because everybody tries to do the best or what they think is the best they can. Now, I see it because I've got some amazing parents at my school, and I see the kids. There requires a good mixture of tough love and slightly soft love. But one can never, ever, ever be a friend to their kid. Not in the way that most people consider themselves a friend to their kids. This is where, the ancient philosophers said it more or less right, and it's even in scriptures. It says parents, children, obey and respect your parents. But it also says parents, do not anger your kids. See, it covers all facets of, child development and relationships between parents and kids. Now, this video I wanted to accentuate why we have and why we see a huge amount, a growing amount of weak kids, male and female. Now, what I'm seeing is mostly male kids, little boys are being effeminate. They're effeminated. And it's because of their parents, and mostly because of their mothers. Sometimes because of the fathers. But I'm seeing girls who are stronger today, and don't throw this feminist stuff because we're aware. Shut up. It has nothing to do with you being aware of where you are today. You're in a man's world, and that's that. You've created nothing. Men have created everything, and that's it. Is it my final opinion? That's a big conversation. I'm not willing to have it with Andrew Tate. I'm talking about kids. I'm seeing girls, because of what's out there, the product of the society is raising girls, but raising girls to be stronger, not always in a healthy way, but in a contemptual way. In one where they put the man under, and once you put the man under, you have nothing to compare with. You have nothing to be with. You've already created divides. The divide has already been created. Now, the thing is, I see a lot of very, very, very timid young boys, where timid young boys, easily influenced by outside sources, easily scared, extremely bashful. And this also goes with a lot of the girls too. It's just that I'm seeing mostly the boys for reasons other than what goes on in the house. That's for another time. But I'm seeing primarily because of the behavior of parents, because of the relationship they have with their parents. Because when parents start saying that, you know, my kids are my friends and that's the relationship we're gonna have, now it sounds really nice. I have a relationship with my kids and we're friends with my kids, and, you know, and this is why you stop, man. You did not, you know, you don't have kids. You know, most of these parents that say we're friends with my kids and we, you know, do this, that. You didn't have a kid to buy you know, you did not have a kid to treat as a puppy, as a gift for you. This is a gift in life, but it's there because as God made us out of love, He created us out of love so that we can go forward and live under His name, although we didn't, and that's a different story in itself. It's out of love that we create kids so we can pass on to them the love we feel in creating them, the love we feel for them, our culture, our traditions, to procreate, to be able to, you know, to pass on this gift further on, not to treat them like puppies. You want a puppy? Buy a puppy. Buy a kitten. Buy a budgie. But a kid is not a toy for you, a gift for you to soothe your loneliness. This is where we are today. To soothe your loneliness, or some image of a mom. And I will let them do whatever they want and discover whatever they want and let them choose whatever they want later on. Then don't have a kid. If that's how you're not raising a kid, you bought a puppy. A human puppy, that's what you're raising. A human puppy. You as a parent are supposed to put the morals in the kid, to strengthen the child, to be able to temper the child, to know when he's right, fine. Not excessive rewards. No. Moderate. They don't need to know that, you know, they're a dog. You did great in your homework? Let's go to the dollar store. You did what? You did on things that are given, that they need to do good in and excel and to be taught that. This is for you. If they're taught that at a young age, they will know this later on to be correct. The way I teach my kids at the school and the way I drill them is how they know later on as well. This is why they respond so well. Some kids will take off after a couple of years, go somewhere else, come back, they still got it. Why? Because it's drilled into them constantly. This is what they know from young. This is what it is. So now, you know, but we have parents that don't know when to give and take. Some parents, like I said, I have amazing parents at school, and I see the balance within the kids, and I'm just a compliment to that. Okay, but the parents though that I see that are excessively soft, this is where I see the reflection on their kids, because for some, and I don't know what goes on in the house. I'm not judging what happens in the house, but children need to be molded. They don't need to be, you know, most parents today, and I hear it from everybody, you know, too tired, give them the phone, give them the pad, just shut up, you know, in the car, give them the pad, shut up, this, that, and what you're doing is you're disconnecting from your kid. You are disconnecting from your kid. Now, at that very moment, it might feel okay to you, but a child's life is not dependent on that very moment. It does not unfold in that very moment. A child's life unfolds as he goes. Every single thing that you do in that day will determine how your child will be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. If your child feels disturbed when they're in their early teens, or is easily influenced by society because you've got serious obstacles in front of you as parents today, you know, that all depends on how you have been with them in the house, what you have taught them in the house about your cultures, your traditions, your, you know, suffice to say, your culture is not cannibalism and serial killing and, you know, and stuff like that, negative, that has a negative impact on anything else. But there must be morals, there must be this, and how and for these kids, because I've seen them in my school. And then I look at the parents and I go, awesome. Non-racial parents, meaning they're not racists, you know, they're not prejudiced to other races or anything like that. They're great amongst other people, but they've taught their kids right. And they've taught their kids what to say and what not to say, and what to believe in, what to expect from a school. A school today will not teach your kids the values. No government will teach your kids the values in this. And if you and what we do see today though is, I see it at my school. I see kids, the minute they get a phone, when I tell them, okay, water break, dude, these fucking kids, and I have the best that this generation has to offer. I do. My kids are absolutely amazing. I got teens that are full-time at school, working too, and training full-time. Those are role models. But I still see them on their bloody freaking phone. As a slightest break, instead of going for the water, it's water in one hand and the phone in the other. I mean, I'm not saying it's not addictive. We all go through that at home. It's like I reach for it. Sometimes I go, ooh. But at the same time, though, one must be able to reflect on that and say, do I have that reflex, that problem? That cannot be cut at 17 years old. That is tempered and controlled when they are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's when it's done. Don't expect your child to be strong at 13 when you've done nothing but weaken him when he was 3, 4, 5, 6 by holding him and putting him on a pedestal. Now he's looking down on you. That's what he's doing. He's looking down on you. You put a child on a pedestal and he's looking down on you, but my kids come first. No, your kids don't come first. You come first. You and your husband came first. Without you and him, or him and her, you would not have had that kid. That's who comes first. The kids need to know the parents come first. Yes, you love them to death. You will give your life for them. It's a transition, right? We give our life for our kids now. Our kids will give, you know, will there to protect your life later on. But their kids, they'll give their life for their kids, not for you as you are old. You understand what I mean? See, that's the natural process of tradition within families. That's just how it is. It's from the beginning of time, and it's biblical. But you can't treat your kids like little toys, handing everything to them almost as an excuse for your own guilt, what you didn't have and what you couldn't get as a kid. I've heard parents say the worst. Well, I did cocaine as a kid. I want my kid to know that so that they'll know that I was honest with them. Shut up. This drives me bananas. This drives me bananas. I mean, like, you cannot tell your kid that. When he's 25, 26, you can tell him, or 30. You can tell him, yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I did actually tried it. Thank God I didn't get hooked on it, and I didn't know it was dangerous, it was this and that. At least he can formulate more reasoning behind that. But to sit and tell him, you know, as kids, well, mommy tried it, and so did daddy, and because you don't know how each kid takes to it. He is not you, he's a part of you, but he is an individual, a separate entity. Although he might have parts of your genes and his chromosomes and your chromosomes and their genes and put together in DNA, he's got his own separate DNA. You don't know how these kids are going to grow. I'm just sharing a bit of what I experience without judgment. Kids need to be tempered and need to be built from young. And they need to be driven from young. And I don't mean driven, career driven. They need to be driven and guided. Sorry, the word is guided. They need to be guided. You have to be very careful today, because what I see from my school is that 90% of the population in there, as they grow in years, is guided by pop culture. What they see on social media, what they hear, and they repeat it. Because this is the news of the day, social media. Social media platforms are where they get their news. Not newspapers anymore. Not magazines, the internet and social media. And the few suckers that actually sit there and believe, you know, mainstream media, legacy media. This is what's raising your kids. How many actually? And I tell my kids, don't listen. I don't want to hear sounds, you know, sound bites off the internet, sound bites off of Facebook or Instagram. No, don't give me that. If you're going to open your mouth, make sure you know what you're saying, not say what I know. This is how it is. Open up a book and find out. Open up a book that hasn't been redacted. Go open up a history book. Find out why we are where we are today. Find out if maybe your reality isn't a reality. But open up books, not read articles on the internet by this guy's blog and his opinion. Kids need to be guided, and they need to be shown tough love and love, not to be treated like pets. The type of characters I see in my school, I'll leave it for another video. But this is a result of these type of parents who are either too hard or too soft. And I'm seeing more now too soft. I don't want to hurt my kid's feelings. He'll get over it. At least this way, what you do is you make him understand that it is okay to feel like this because you didn't get what you wanted, but you'll get over it, and you'll understand a little later why. You're not entitled to tell him everything. You're entitled to, you're allowed to allow him to get over it, and then once he gets over it, then you can go by when he's emotionally stable and say, this is why. This is why. I do that to my kids at the school, with the parents' blessings, of course, and they do understand. Not at the time where they're feeling emotional, but afterwards. And they do, because as a parent, I have made mistakes too. And I speak as a parent, but at least I try to reflect on what I could have done wrong, what I could have done right, and what I have done right given how my kids are today. And my kids are absolutely beautiful kids. At least what me and their mother did, we did. Haphazardly, but we did. We followed tradition. Our tradition worked. Our methods worked. So, anyways, I hope this helps out some of the parents out there. Again, I'm seeing a society that is soft because parents are being soft on their kids. And they're not teaching them commitment. They're not teaching them personal growth. They're teaching them fun. Have fun. Fun, child. Have fun. Soccer, hockey, fun. It's all about fun. No, man. You teach a kid to not know who he is and to always expect to be rewarded for everything they've done, and not to really look for themselves, and to always look for the fun side of things. You're teaching your kid to be overly stimulated, hyper-stimulated, and good for nothing. Always looking for the stimulation, not the result of what they're doing and why they're doing it, but for the stimulation of some sort of satisfaction out of it, but not of self-awareness, not of self-learning to know oneself. It's always about fun first. But when the hard times come, and they come much earlier in life today than they did back in my day. When the hard times come, this is where the kid crumbles. This is where I'm seeing kids 8, 9, 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old on medication for anxiety attacks, and God knows what else. Anyways, that's another video. That's another topic in itself. So, just my advice to say, parents, from what I've seen, first you got to hold yourself, hold your heart, and then you got to be, in order to make the right decisions, to make sure that your child is going in a particular way, in order to become strong. Sometimes you just have to pull things away from him, in a way that makes sense, and understand that you cannot put your kid on a pedestal, because if you do, he's going to look down on you. You're above him, and your rules matter first. They matter most. That's it. And then after him. Anyways, that was just my thoughts. Something to think about if you think it'll help anybody else. Pass it on, share it. Get on my YouTube channel, Aris Macros, and like, subscribe, share if you like them. I think it'll help. I think not enough people are listening, are getting any perspective on these subjects. I think what's happening is that people are getting caught with little sound bites. 1 minute, maximum 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and off, 30 seconds. No, man, go back to the lectures that took half an hour to listen, where perspective was given as a whole. So anyways, letting you go on this. It's 20 minutes in. I'll catch you next time with another topic revolving around the same thing, but other perspective. Later.